Hello, hello. Today I'd like to show you some Ignimbrite from Tenerife, and this is the Arico Ignimbrite. And I was sent some samples from the quarry. It's mined in southern Tenerife and it's used as a building stone because it has some very special properties. But first of all, thank you to Alexis for sending the rock and to Juan Carlos for helping. They visited the quarry and sent these samples. Now, here is the Arico Ignimbrite. It's about 670,000 years old. It's part of the Las Cañadas series from the Las Cañadas volcano that is crowned by the Las Cañadas caldera. And this is from the southern area of Tenerife, the Bandas del Sur. And here we have three different facies. There is the bottom facies at the bottom of the Ignimbrite, the middle part, the grey one, the lower green one, the grey one, and the top brownish red one. And the density of the samples changes a little bit. This has a lower density, a higher porosity than the other two, but overall they have densities of no more than about 2. So it's a pretty kind of lightweight rock, and that makes it very attractive for building, particularly tall buildings like churches. The colonial churches in southern Tenerife, in Arico village for example, they are built from that material, particularly this one, because it's got a higher porosity. But the physical properties are very good. It's a very sturdy rock. It's got a lot of welded glass in there, and that makes it a very attractive building stone because it's lightweight, but at the same time it's pretty sturdy. So here what we see in the rock is that here in the grey one we see it already on the cut surface. We see big fiamme. This is a slightly more mafic fiamme, and there is feldspar in there. The feldspar is aligned according to the outline of the fiamme. And then we have here some porous material, some porous fiamme. Fiamme is an Italian word. It means little flame. It's usually flattened or collapsed pumice or scoria material. And further down here we have a few more of those vesicular bubbly pumices or flattened pumices. And then there's some solid particles that were floating in the ash cloud when it was deposited, like this one here, and you see that, or this one here, and you see that the matrix is wrapping around those. There's also a bit of discoloration, so this was oxidized a little bit in the kind of hot mass after deposition presumably. And here is another example. There we see that the matrix is wrapping around. These were particles that were already solid, and they are often referred to as lithic fragments, little rock fragments that were caught up in the ash cloud. Now, when we look at the green facies here, it's very hard to see, so I brought some liquid here in order to make it a little more visible. And now you see that there's a lot of little fiamme as well. Loads of them, and they're a little more flat, so they were compacted even more strongly because they're at the bottom of the deposit. And again we have some lithic clasts here, and they have reacted in the hot state a little bit after deposition, so you see a little kind of aureole around this, a little corona if you will. So this was only alco spray, so this will evaporate very quickly now. It will dry off, but you can see the fine textures here rather well. We can try this for the middle Ignimbrite as well, but I think it's not going to work so well because it's very porous. Well, the lithic fragments come out quite well this way, but I tried it earlier on the brown facies, and that works pretty good. So here now we see that it's also made up of these fiamme, but maybe a lower abundance of them. It's more ash, and this is the late settling of ash after the main eruptive kind of pyroclastic flow or pyroclastic density current has rushed through. Then the dust settles, if you will, and then there's more and more fine material coming towards the top. There's of course a few lithic clasts involved, but this is the final stage, and this is also why it's brown, because it's been interacting with the atmosphere more strongly, and therefore it's more oxidized and a bit more rusty therefore in color. So this was my little introduction, and I will add a few photos from the quarry to the end of this video now, so you will see how it's mined and quarried, and there you will see how it's cut, and it's still a building stone on Tenerife, a very popular one in fact. It's used in a lot of places as a cladding stone, as a structural support stone, as a pipe material, because of its sturdiness and lightweight. So I hope you will enjoy these photos at the end, and I say goodbye and all the very best. Thanks for the attention.